Anyway, then we came to another tournament match, and I watched this one, and you knew I would, because it was Mark Briscoe against Jay Lethal. Neither one of these guys have a point at this point. They are completely winless. They can't mathematically win the tournament, but they're going to go out there and have a match. And by the way, they had their first transmission issue, I believe, at this point. I think it was the first one that I noticed right at the start of this match. A couple or three places in the course of the program, the audio and video went to black, but the bugs were still on the screen. The TBS bug and the AEW bug, that was coming from TBS's transmission. So the problem with the program going out was between the point of origin, the live event, and their transmission to TBS. And the announcers didn't say anything about it. It wasn't part of the devil thing. They just went black and silent for 15 seconds at a time.
Yeah, that's the problem. The bug still being there. My first thought was, oh, the devil's at it again. And then, oh, the House of Black's at it again. And the fans are as silent as they are every time they turn out the lights when the House of Black come out. No, the show just more weird AEW production issues.
Yeah,
several times.
They got a crimp in the wire. The cable was, somebody stepped on the cable. But anyway, Mark Briscoe and Jay Lethal, let me just go on a soapbox for a second. I understand Jay Lethal, when we're comparing about who should win this tournament or who, is featured in the tournament, Lethal is a superior worker than Swerve Strickland because he's got more experience and he's a better logical worker. And both of them can talk. But I can see using Swerve, pushing Swerve ahead because he doesn't have the baggage of being booked, rotten, and used underneath in TNA like Jay does. And he hasn't been booked as badly and as rotten in AEW as Jay Lethal has, right? So I can see that. And I'm not trying to just say, oh, Jay Lethal ought to be the winner.
I personally believe Swerve has more of a star. He seems more like a star than Jay Lethal does.
Well, he's newer and he's fresher, and poor Jay, he never, got the opportunities that he should have at the big company. But nevertheless, can you explain to me why fucking Rush is in any way being pushed ahead of a unique talent like Mark Briscoe, who is so far superior to Rush in every aspect of the business? It's not even a contest in any category. It's just a criminal waste. And I can think of another couple people in the fucking tournament that instead of Mark Briscoe, this could have been a vehicle for Mark Briscoe if they hadn't dropped the ball so bad and fucking botched him. The people like him. They want to like him more. They wanted to like him even more than that. And he's better at everything. He's got a personality and a gimmick, and he can work and he can talk. And he's got appeal. And Jay fucking White put half the effort into Mark Briscoe they put into that fucking bowl of oatmeal. Jesus Christ. So anyway, I watched this match. I'll give a few high points. It, for once on this program, looked like two guys struggling for something instead of just performing together and not bothering to hide it. They wrestled a little because they know how, and they slowed it down at the beginning so that they could establish who the babyface and heel was. When they traded chops, it was hard, and without standing there and pointing at their chest for the other guy to do it, the other guy would take over. They still did some modern shit with Mark doing the Cactus Jack elbow off the apron of the floor and blah, blah, blah. But they looked like grown men and athletes doing shit, not in cooperation with, but in struggle with the other guy. And then they did the flips too. Mark did the drop kick through the ropes and then brought the chair in, set the chair up and jumped off it and cannonballed over the top rope and leveled fucking Lethal and got a big pop. and then jumps up and grabs the hat off the fan in the front row and wears it and makes his face, because that works for Mark Briscoe, because he's a world-class gimmick. And they love that. And then they got some 2 counts, including the "this is awesome" chants for wrestling moves that weren't dangerous but made sense. And then finally, Mark hit the Jay Driller in honor of his brother Jay, 1, 2, 3. And the fans jumped up and gave him a standing ovation. It was the best match so far in the tournament, with 2 guys that were completely winless and had been booked like jobbers. And it got a better reaction than most of the matches in the tournament. And with no danger to anybody more than is necessary in this job. And without looking stupid, looking fake, or looking silly. And this was the 2 guys that couldn't possibly. And now Jay officially finishes the tournament with fuck. Idiots. What'd you think?
It was all right. I didn't pay that much attention.
Well, give me time to swallow then.
I mean, why should I? I mean, you knew Jay Lethal wasn't going to win, and you figured Mark Briscoe was going to win. You know, they needed someone to lose every match. They picked Jay Lethal. You kind of knew it based on who was in here and who were his favorites and who gets pushed. And Jay Lethal shouldn't, based on how he's been booked. So, wasn't surprised, but you put this on the show and it's a long competitive match. I'm sure it was great. But when you treat guys like jobbers on your show,
yeah,
I don't want to see Battle of the Jobbers.
And it's they've got so many other people on the roster that deserve to be jobbers that are being pushed ahead of these guys that could produce. Oh my God.
Like the Mark Briscoe thing, unless he requested, I don't want to be pushed the way some people want me to be pushed.
I don't think he asked that. I'm going to go out on a limb and bet the farm that he did not ask that.
But Mark Briscoe, there's been multiple missed opportunities, and I think someone like Jay Lethal and someone like Mark Briscoe, it's happened so often now, they've now been pigeonholed into where they're going to be. And I can't see them past that point. Jay Lethal did not have Jeff Jarrett and the whole clown show out there, but the damage has been done.
Damage has been done already. You can't put the toothpaste back in the tube, as they say.